Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, when you look on how Ruto became the president in 2022, you remember the role that the US ambassador by then played during that time. This made many Kenyans to believe that William Ruto was made the president by the US. There was the hand of US in the Ruto's presidency. That is what majority of Kenyans believe. Then the visit to US by President Ruto, being granted that kind of a visit that happened after a very long time. Of course, it was to strengthen the ties between Kenya and the US and all that. So, the people who believed to have made Ruto the president are now here again issuing warnings against the very same person. So Ruto had a state visit to China, and he talked about the new world order relationship that Kenya enjoys with China. He really embraced China. Remember, China and Russia, they are in a war with America. Now you are embracing one of these countries. And Kenya has been viewed as a non-NATO ally to the US. This non-NATO ally, first of all, NATO allies, these are the North Atlantic Trade Organization that brings together these countries. But now, being a non-NATO ally means you're not partner with these guys, but you enjoy some support due to high level of trust and cooperation between the countries. That's why you see the US Army can train here in Kenya. They can launch their satellite here, and Kenya as well can enjoy from such security support in terms of equipment, in terms of technology, and all that. So, Ruto's statement that angered US while in China is here.
Kenya and China are not merely trade partners. We are co-architects of a new world order, one that is fair, inclusive, and sustainable. The first African state visit to China this year mirrors my 2024 visit to the United States, the first African state visit there in 15 years. Perhaps, symbolically, Kenya can serve as a bridge between East and West, North and South, in an era of deepening geopolitical tensions.
This statement from Ruto angered US, and through Senator Jim Rich, he responded. By the way, he's the chair of diplomatic something there. And his response is that many African nations maintain a troubling ties with China, including national security partnership. He went further to mention William Ruto as an individual, in reference to his remarks in China. And so his position is that they have to look into the current existing relation between Kenya and the US.
Many African nations maintain troubling ties with China, including key national security partners. Just last month, President Ruto declared that Kenya, a major non-NATO ally, and China are co-architects of a new world order.
Now, will the US respond? What does this mean for Kenya and William Ruto as the president? That's a big question. And I want to try to go deeper into that. But before the discussion, I have a very quick and humble request. For those who are watching this channel and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to our discussion. Now, there's no way you would want to become a close ally of China, then at the same time, US. It might not work because China and US, they are in competition in very many ways, in business competition, being superpower and all that. So they are competitors. So you have to choose either way. And for US, since they're struggling to maintain that superpower, the issue of economy of the world, they will not entertain the move that Ruto is taking now and going forward. You choose. So they want to relook into those privileges that Kenyans have enjoyed from. The issue of military equipment, the issue of defense cooperation. You have to look into that. One thing that I'm sure of is that if US is not comfortable with William Ruto, then he should be very careful. Because the perception here again is that it is US that made Ruto the president. They involved in that. That they had issues with Raila Odinga. Raila ni mtu amesomea Russia. Ideologies za huko ni anataka alete. And all that. Then leaning toward China. So they wanted someone who will lean toward them. We are heading to another election. So Ruto must tread carefully. If they are not comfortable with his current geopolitical move, then they can as well, if indeed they were involved in internal politics here, they can as well replace him. Kama walihusika kweli, mkono wao ulihusika kumfanya Ruto kuwa president, basi hivyo they will do it against him, since he is now realigning with their opponent. That is what I can say, because now it is clearly and publicly emerging that there is differences due to Ruto's latest move and his remarks towards China and the US position. You should be very careful with it. If that is the move, then Kenyans are happy with that. Because what Kenyans are interested in, majority of Kenyans of course, is anyone who can support them to remove this man from the State House. So wameenda paka maandamano wakakataa vitu nyingi, serikali haikusikia paka ikafika mahali wakasema Ruto must go. Because then they discovered then the biggest problem here, it is Ruto. Si mwingine ni Ruto. Ndio wakasema sasa mahali tumefika, this man must go. Sasa jamaa amekuwa mgeugeu kwa Wakenya hapa, kigeugeu kwa Wakenya hapa. Alafu sasa tena amefika huko ni kama pia amekuwa kigeugeu kwa wale ambao walifikiria ya kwamba watakuwa na yeye. Of course, this move, if it goes further, then it means maybe US will withdraw most of the support that the country has enjoyed due to the non-NATO ally relationship between these two countries. Haita kuweko tena, ama in a very different ways. Because if you look in some of the countries where US had their interest, but the leaders were not aligned to that move, some is allegations. Ni hivyo tu wameisha kisiasa, wengine hata labda wakapoteza maisha. They send you into a political oblivion. Yes, na tunaongea mambo ya kuwa independent country. But how are we independent? Now we are moving from US, now we are heading to China. In as much as we say we are a sovereign state. Lazima unatafuta unaegemea huko ama huko like that. Vitu kama hivyo. So, hata tukiongea mambo ya independence and all that, it's not really the way we think. There is external forces also involved here and there that normally take place. So this is the new challenge to William Ruto, and we'll be waiting for response kutoka hapa Nairobi. Watu tusikie now wanasema nini now that US is firm in what they're talking about, and they are mentioning William Ruto as far as his new order of relation with China is concerned, as a corridor to embrace China. Haitawezekana njia mbili, sababu hawa ni watu, ni nchi mbili ambazo ziko katika vita vya economy na pia mambo ya military or that superpower thing.